So I was given this topic by Shriram. He pinged me up in the night and he said that why don't you take up a role in the next upcoming meeting, that is today. So I thought, give me anything. Specifically, I asked for evaluation, but he gave me the TTM session. So I got to know about this concept of Johari window, which is the theme of the day. So when I came across this topic, the first thing I did was I went into nostalgia. It was my first day as an it was my first day for orientation in my days in my BBA classes when my professor told me about this concept. At that particular moment, I didn't get a good grasp of it. It is just yesterday night that I got to know about what this concept actually is. So it is a very wonderful concept in knowing about your own self. Whenever we say about your own self, it is a very easy and might sound like a very minimalist statement to just say that one should know thyself. But when you actually start to understand and get the essence of it, you'll start to realize that there is a lot about you that you don't know. Because we are so busy in our lives and we are so, we've become like a part of a machinery that we are following a particular routine and going about it, not realizing why are we the way we are. What is the purpose of this existence and what is actually our personality. So this particular concept, and which is a very wonderful concept, has been developed for us to realize what we are. And how to do that is by taking the help from the others and ourselves, which has been wonderfully explained by the TMOD of the day. So with this, the table topics session are curated around the topics. With this, and I now request for a volunteer. The first volunteer who want to come on the stage, sir. Can we give him a huge round of applause? Your name, sir? Prakhar. So, Prakhar, your table topic is why most interviewees fail to answer the question, tell me something about yourself. Why most interviewees fail to answer the question, tell me something about yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topic Master, for the topic. Now the topic is why most interviewees can't answer, tell me something about yourself. And I don't think this statement is factually correct. Whenever someone asks me, tell me about yourself, or whenever someone asks you to tell me about yourself, we always have some answers. My name is this, I belong to this place, these are my skills, this is the company I've been working in. What I think he means is, why don't people answer that question very satisfactorily? For example, you are in an interview, everyone can answer, right? Tell me something about yourself. My name is Prakhar, I watched Game of Thrones yesterday. Does it make sense in an interview? No. So I think a lot of people don't get on what in telling about themselves is, they don't understand the context of it. Now if you can be giving interview of thousands of things. It could be a job interview, it could be maybe if Toastmasters had a quorum to decide who would be the election commission, you could be giving that, not election commissioner, EC, executive committee, you might have to give interview there. If you are getting married, right, in an arranged marriage setting, that is also an interview. So the first thing I think everyone should understand is context. What is the other person expecting out of me? What type of answers will suit it? So the first thing I think everyone misses is context. The second thing is keeping it simple, short, and easy to understand. For example, I work in analytics. I could be a very good data analyst. But someone who is a mechanical engineer, explaining what I do to them simply, concisely, is the place where people forget it. And finally, is not communicating yourself freely. So a lot of times we get stressed. Okay, this is an interview, this is an important interview, I might make it, I might not make it. And that is one of the also places where people actually lose it out. For example, as I said, he forgot everyone to tell them to switch off their phones. Did he not know it? He knew it. It was just the pressure. So I think there are three things. The first thing is context, whom you are talking to. The second thing is explaining things concisely. in a manner that is understandable to the other side. And finally, don't get stressed. It's okay, we all are humans. So I think these are the three things, and that's my time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful attempt. Now I request a second volunteer.
Guest, not a guest. Not a guest.
Not a guest. So, any guest who wishes to volunteer? Sir. Your name, sir?
Himanshu.
Himanshu. So, Himanshu, you have been through the entire TMOD session as of now. So, you might be getting a little grasp about what the Johari window concept is.
So I do get an idea of what the window is
Yes.
and how it helps you delve into parts of your personality which you might not have explored.
Correct, correct. So, you must have understood that the Johari window is all about communication and giving and receiving feedback. Alright. So, based on this, your topic is how important is communication when we talk about identifying and overcoming drawbacks? Your topic is how important is communication when we talk about identifying and overcoming drawbacks?
Thank you. Hi friends, morning everyone. So the topic given to me by the Toastmasters head is how important is communication when you want to find out what your drawbacks are. So I guess, if the objective of a certain exercise is to find out what your deficiencies or what your drawbacks are, it is very important for the person to look outside his or her own sphere. And once you want to do that, I think you would really want to find out what the world thinks about you, rather than what your own perception about yourself is. And I guess and I think that probably communication is the strongest tool for finding out what other people perceive of you, right? For example, I'll take an example of, let's say, a cricket match that is happening right now between India and England. And our team currently might be thinking that we are on a very solid footing and we'll be able to confidently and very easily win this match. Whereas the perception of what the future challenges for the team can be is something that the coaches or the staff can find out by exchanging ideas with a lot of other commentators or expert analysts. So I guess deriving or getting to know what your immediate surroundings think about yourself through communication is something which would be extremely important for them to find out what their future challenges are and how they can overcome those drawbacks. So I in fact, I'll just say a minute more. So I in fact think that communication is something very pivotal to finding out what your blind spots are, and it is something which will be extremely important to find out what your future course of action plan should be. So yeah, that's my time, I guess.
That was a very wonderful attempt, sir. I
Thank
guess
you.
when we are told that do not bother what others think about you. We've heard this like many of times. Our teachers have told us, our parents have told us, and even sometimes our friends have told us. But this statement is actually not true to a greater extent. What others think about you can actually be of benefit to you if what others' objective is to make you grow in life. If that is the objective of the people, then letting people give their feedback of yourself can help you achieve the desired objective that you want to do in your life. So thank you so much, sir. I would now request sir, since he raised his hand multiple times. So you had a grasp earlier about the Johari window concept. So you are very familiar with the concept of giving feedback. So my question to you is that needs to be a right environment in order to receive a right feedback. There needs to be a right environment in order to receive a right feedback.
Thank you.
Friends, environment is very, very important. Without environment, there cannot be any meaning. Let's talk about context. I'm just replacing the word environment with context. Think of a cup, big cup. If the shape of the cup changes, whatever is content is there in that cup, that also changes. I'm just giving a simple example. It's a glass, it's a tub, it's a bucket, it's all vessels, but the context, the surrounding which is holding that content is changing. So it's important that we first determine the environment where we are, and determination of the any parameter can be driven only by environment. Same person, if you are put in a different environment, in a different job altogether, probably you may not be successful, you may not prosper at all. Everybody needs a certain environment where he has grown up, and this environment, how it has come up because of our conditioning, what conditioning we have done. Now we decide our goals of life, our purpose of life, and that is where we need to set the context right. Context is also very important if I am talking about the surrounding, people I am surrounded with. It is said that you are an average of 5 persons with whom you surround yourself. So surrounding, context, environment, keep this in mind always. This will help us a lot in getting the right feedback and growing in life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I completely agree with you that we are the product of the 5 people that we are all around with. और हमेशा संगति का असर होता ही है. And you cannot, even if you have a very strong personality or a very different personality from the group that you are amongst, in a matter of time, eventually you will gain the similar traits as that of the group that you are in. So, with now moving forward in the table topic session, I was sitting over there and I was also evaluating myself based on the Johari window concept. And I got to know about myself that in a situation where something very new is given to me, or a task is given to me which is completely new, my heart starts to pound very fast. And I evaluated myself, and then I realized that the benefit of this Johari window concept is not only just to identify what is good and what is limiting in you. It is also to identify that once you have decided what needs to be amended or changed about you, it's now time to seek mentorship or how to resolve the drawbacks which are about you. So I would now like to invite a volunteer. Anyone? So. So like I said, in a situation of immediate fear that our heart starts to pound, as a mentor, or based on the Johari window concept, how would you advise me so that I can make my heart stop pounding and I deal with the situation more diligently and more articulately?
So whenever you're thrown into a challenging situation, be it something which is very new to you or something that you're avoiding, your emotions will overwhelm you. You will not know what to do at that very moment. And here is a very interesting thing. Emotions are very good indicators of what is going on inside. But it is also something that you have to be very aware of. Say if you are always running with emotions, you will end up doing things that you don't want to in the long run, right? So at that moment, what do you think is the best thing to do? Is to somehow suppress or let the emotion sink down. Think of it like this. Have you seen have you observed like when you're raising that water pump, it fills up and then the water overflows, right? And when you just, when you open the tap, slowly the tank just goes down. So similarly, emotions, just think of it like a fluid that has just built up in your body. And now you need to flush it down. So a best way in situations which are hard or difficult is to just not do anything at that very moment. So especially when you're taking big decisions, best not to do anything because you have to let the emotions drain out, and once that drains out, then you start moving with clarity. So I'll give you a very good example. If you think about what a role of a CEO is,
You manage all the stakeholders.
more than that, it's about taking 5 critical decisions.
Yes.
It is not about managing things. So, and to take good decisions, you have to be able to flush the emotions out and be prepared to take that decision. So, in any kind of situation where you're feeling that anxiety or that awkwardness, just take a step back. Don't say anything, just observe, let it flush out, and then you move forward and take the action. Over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Any next volunteer?
A guest you asked for.
Ma'am, may I have you?
She's a guest, please.
Based on sir's speech, I have a very subsequent topic for you. And the topic is, never react with your emotions, but respond back with your brain. Never react with your emotions, but respond back with your brain.
Thank you. Hi all. So in order to understand this topic a little more clearer, I mean, I'm a very emotional person, I'll be very honest. So when it comes to making a decision, I usually, get into that emotional thinking, what needs to be done. But idea is when you are in a position or you are, taking decision for somebody else, or you are, leading a team or whatsoever, then you have to think in a way that, your emotion at that particular moment can actually affect a person in terms of their development or in terms of, how they can actually nurture themselves. So you have to analyze the situation. You have to be strong in terms of, is this really good for the person? For example, if I come from an HR background, so if I see a candidate or a person who is actually not a fit, but I think that actually can grow with some nurturing, then I have to put my effort and see how we can make it work. But later down the line, if I see that this person is not really a fit, then I have to make this hard decision by myself that, okay, I have to let this person go. So these are the decisions that I can't do emotionally, but I have to make some SWOT analysis. I have to understand what is good, what is bad for the person, and accordingly break it through. So that's the crux of how things look like. I think I am very lost on time.
So, coming back to the 4 quadrants of the Johari window, there is the last quadrant, that is the unknown quadrant, which is this one. This talks about the things that not even you and neither is the person who is with you is aware about your trait. So how do you come about to know that the things that you didn't know that you are also capable of? By stepping into it and by experimenting it. So with this, I would now like to invite you, sir. Hanji. Yes. I'm so sorry, I'm not familiar with the names.
That's good.
Jasprit. So, Jasprit, your topic is खेल खेल में खेल खेल के खेल खेलना आ जाएगा. खेल खेल में खेल खेल के खेल खेलना आ जाएगा.
This is Hyderabad. A couple of years back, I was over there and I had signed up for this event called triathlon, which basically means running. So I had to run 10 kilometers, cycle 40 kilometers, and swim 3 kilometers. Okay, running and cycling I can manage. I was fitter that time. But coming to swimming, I had about 3 months time. I said, I'm a waterphobic person, I'm an aquaphobic. I can never enter water. I asked my mentor, how do I learn swimming? He said, खेल खेल के कूद जा. I was like, पागल हो गया क्या तू? What if I die? What if? He said, enter the 3 feet water. I said, no, there are kids playing in that. There were small kids in their small tubbies and all, they were playing in that. So I was fortunate, I was in a society which had the pool. He said, you start from there. I said, I'm not entering, it is against me. No, I'm not entering with these small kiddies. They'll call me uncle or whatever, I'm not entering in that. He said, no, it doesn't matter what the world thinks, you take that step. Somehow, I took that step. I entered into the puddle of water. The water was coming till my knees. He said, stay in water for 30 minutes. I was sitting there, I said, what do I do? He said, just stay in water. Just see that surrounding. After 30 minutes, he told Jasprit, step into the 5 feet water. I said, no, I'm going to tumble down, I'm not. So he made me wear those big glasses and I put those ear plugs and I entered into water. I was, there's a steps to enter water. I was holding on to that. I was sitting on those steps and holding. After some time he said, enter into the water with the full body. I went into the water. He told, hold those, the ladder that we had. He said, hold on to them and just move your legs like a butterfly. I started doing that. Then he said, start putting your head into the water. Start breathing inside water. I said, I am not an animal, but he told me there are techniques to do it. He told me you can come out, breathe out, and then go back in. I started doing this. I was so scared that day. But in a matter of a week's time, I actually swam that 10 meters water. So what I want to say is, sometimes we talk about surroundings. Be like the water, adopt yourself, and step into the unknown. क्योंकि खेल में ही खेल जाएगा बंदा. I eventually completed that marathon and I still flaunt that medal that I'm an Olympic triathlete. Thank you.
That was a very wonderful attempt, Jaspreet. Any other guests that we have? If not,
We have some story.
So we have one last topic as per the timer. So your topic is the result of knowing others' view about self completely accurate since we are perceived differently by different people? Is the result of knowing others' view about self completely accurate since we are perceived differently by different people?
So, hi everyone, my name is Vivek, and the topic is around what I understood, how the feedback we are taking from the other person. So, if suppose that we are taking a feedback from the multiple people, everyone has a different views, they have different perspective, right? How we are taking that feedback and in line with our thoughts, that is right. That understand? Okay, so if I'm talking about in my job, I am doing a one-to-one on the daily basis. Right? So on the monthly basis, I am doing a one-to-one with my team members, where basically I interacting and giving the feedback to the respective people based on their judgment. But we have to understand, right? When we have a team of the 10 people, right? Every people has the different traits, and we have to understand their role, their traits based on our team structure. So on that gap, if someone is giving the feedback for the respective people, right, we have to understand the feedback in line with the respective person or not based on the self introspection as well, right? So if I give you my example, if I got the feedback something, but the feedback is not aligned, if I'm not aware of my traits, suppose that might be I'm not good, might be the English communication technique, right? Yeah, might be some XYZ. If I'm not aligned with my traits, if someone is giving the feedback for me, it's very difficult to basically align these things and take the step ahead. So this is
Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful attempt. So any matrix that these are formed like Johari window concept and any other concept that is there, the ultimate objective of these sort of matrices is to help us understand ourselves. And the end goal of any of these matrices is to help us find a balance within ourselves. So that with that, we can move forward in life. So with that, my table topic session comes to a conclusion. I hope you all enjoyed it. And I now hand over the stage to the...
We'll take 5 minutes.
We can take a 5 minutes break.
So we now move forward with the 5 minutes break.